Let's head into the second stage of the day then. They are thick and fast this morning, back-to-back stages. Nueva Alvarado is where we're heading to next. Not as fast as the previous stage. It is a highly technical stage though. And again, we will see that bedrock in there. You will see a couple of kickers, not so many as the previous stage. What we're keen to see though is the condition as the drivers head through, and we will see that of course through the eyes of Elfyn Evans and Scott Martin, who are first on the road for us as they lead the championship. And if you are just joining us for the first time today, it is Kalle Rovanperä who is leading this brand new event as we head into the second stage. Sebastian Ogier is in second position overall, with Sami Pajuri in third. Adrian Formeau is fourth, and Elfyn Evans is in fifth position overall. 7.7 seconds separate the top five right now. That's the stage analysis from Hankook. You can see clay with bedrocks is 99% of the route. There's a lot of bedrock in here again, similar to what we saw on the previous stage. So it is pretty high for puncture risk. There's a lot of loose rocks at the side of the road as well, which could well get dragged through. And then some rocks can get churned out as well from the soft clay sections that we see. For Elfyn Evans then, just 7.7 seconds off the lead. I think going into this one, it's similar to the previous one in terms of the sweeping level. There's not a huge amount of dirt, debris, gravel, not as much as what he's used to. You can compare it to being first on the road of the other gravel rallies of which he's been first on the road of throughout the summer. He had respite for one event. You can see that there's not a huge amount of gravel out there. It will clean, but not as substantially as other stages. But Saturday, completely different. And the key thing for the drivers today is they do not want to be. No one will want to be first on the road tomorrow. Unfortunately, it could well be Greg Munster at this point, because there's a lot of loose tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking to the Hankook guys, I said, when will there be the highest puncture risk? And, you know, they said to me, looks like it could be second pass Saturday, where the biggest risk of that might come in. But yeah, I had noted from driving through the stage that downhill sections really fast. It feels more flowing this stage.
Yeah, I think you could get a better rhythm in here because it is so busy in the previous one, and like we said, with all of those kickers and compressions, the jumps, you're just getting thrown about all over the place.
We're seeing quite a lot more spectators in this stage as well. You can see all the zones on the side. Expecting 250,000 people out at this rally this weekend. That's a lot.
It's a huge amount. That's good though, it's great for the region. A lot of people have travelled here to come and see these Rally 1 cars in action on stages which are unique to Paraguay. Yes, you can compare them to age-old Rally Australia, which we loved back in the early 2000s in terms of the red roads, but it was a very different surface there with the bauxite gravel. But just on Saturday, you've got a bit of Kenya coming in as well, and some of the wide open plain areas. There's a lot of rallies you can compare it to, but I would say this event is going to stand out as being very much a unique event.
Just, you know, riding on board with Elfyn, such a difference from the first to the second stage. I mean, at the first one, we were like constantly going, you know, bracing ourselves for these compressions. But now, you know, it's so fast and much more flowing and just very committed here. Woo. 195. I think I did 70 there in the Rekiko.
I hope you did. What can our rally leader deliver on the second stage then? Will we continue to see him lead the event? I think we might see some stronger times coming through from others now that we've moved away from the really rough stuff on the opening stage. Some of them might stretch their legs a little bit more in here.
It was interesting to see them on the road section. You know, they've got their phones out, obviously looking for how perhaps at, you know, at the first stage, the coverage, what was happening there, but on boards, looking at different places that they experienced things. But they had this a bit of seriousness over them, you know, obviously a couple of drivers, co-drivers feeling those compressions as well, but having a proper discussion about what they've just been through. Would be interesting to hear as well, did you do anything on the road section between these two stages?
This is the issue, I think, with, you know, you've got some completely contrasting stages. They're similar in nature, but obviously that one was incredibly bumpy. There is limited things they can do on the road section.
Right number 17. Very late, 6 left sharp, maybe on a second crest.
But in terms of what the drivers call pollution on the road, there's not a huge amount of it here and on the first stage. It does change though when we get to the 30-kilometer stage coming up next. So Elfyn needs to make the most of the first, which he has done, and this one now, because there will be a little bit more sweeping to do in the third.
Very fast. But this is where they relax a bit, isn't it? When they're going on a straight road really fast. And breathe.
Right of a long crest, 40. Flat left of a jump, 80. Right maybe of a big jump, 150. Middle.
Listen to those cheers.
Wow. Love it.
These fans have been waiting days to hear the sounds of the car, and they just experienced Elfyn Evans at full pelt there.
It was great to see the work that they'd done out on the stage, the people living there on these small farms, getting everything ready for spectators, you know.
Everything has certainly been looked after by the organisers, but by the locals as well. There's been a lot of pride in the WRC coming here, and you can really see that from the preparations that have been made. Sébastien Ogier now then heads into this second stage. Second overall right now, 3.2 seconds adrift of Kalle Rovanperä. Said that, you know, he didn't do anything crazy in the opening stage this morning. They all knew how difficult that was going to be. Will he just pick up the pace a little bit in here, though?
We see this quite often from Seb. He eases into it a little bit, and then sometimes it'll take him a bit too long to ease into things, and he says, yeah, I need to I need to get a move on.
You can see the split points there to chart our drivers over 19 kilometres. Already Elfyn is past 10 Ks, Rovanperã's past 4. Let's see what this first comparable split is going to tell us from Seb. Still so busy, isn't it? You know, in terms of the input into the steering, you know, he's trying to maneuver through every sector of stage. There are still kind of small kickers that are going to throw you out, not as much as a previous one. But there's a lot of work going on here.
Yeah, Vincent is really not taking much of a break there, is he?
And there we go. Ogier faster than Rovanperä by half a second.
He's picked up the pace then.
He has indeed picked up the pace.
But it wasn't a silly thing to do, to take that opening stage just as a sort of, okay, what are we getting ourselves into? And also knowing about all of those compressions, all of those jumps and bumps and kickers, and just, okay, I don't need to take this one at, you know, my maximum. It's a typical Seb Ogier 8-time World Rally Champion approach.
I think it was absolutely the right approach to take. But I think for most of them, they've done exactly the same. you know, they haven't gone absolutely flat chat. We did see an astounding time from Kalle Rovanperä in there, but he certainly wasn't comfortable on the opening stage. I think he'll be a lot more comfortable here. It is a lot smoother than the first stage.
We are seeing the sort of more normal jumps. We're not seeing those sort of nasty bumps. And that must be, you know, nice for them to have a stage that is a lot smoother.
A little bit more stable. You see the difference here. Rovanperä is faster than Evans by 1.8 seconds up 10 Ks.
Right long entry, slot 8 left sharp, blip, and a long crest. 250, think keep right. Unseen, slot 9 left, just trim. 80. Cut right, 6 left, narrow, into 6 right sharp of a crest, round stones. 85 left sharp, deep.
You know, these stages have been graded. You can see a lot of the loose rocks that have been moved out to the road, and they are right on the edges. But some of those are going to get brought in.
Yeah, second pass is often finding out what kind of surprises are in there, but also, you know, we do see the Hankook guys who go in between the runs as well.
Yeah, it's all about the data, how much data we can get out of these stages. It's so important for the drivers, for the teams, and we talk about data. We're coming here for the first time, but a lot of team members came last year. You know, key team members came out to this event as the candidate event last year to bring back as much intelligence and data as they possibly could. And Hankook were here also to be able to get a bit of a feel for the stages themselves and what they were due to expect. It's all about getting that key information.
Crest 120. Crest finish 350.
Seb Ogier continuing a theme here in terms of his pace, certainly against Rovanperä. It is looking good for Seb here.
He's missing a wing mirror.
That is not unusual.
No, it's not. I've run after him with one of them once.
Yeah, it was a couple of rounds ago, wasn't it?
In Greece.
Oh no. We have an alert here. Who is this for? It is for Sebastian Ogier. It is the rear right.
That's also the side he's
we're only
lost the wing
halfway
mirror
through.
on. So
yeah.
Has he touched a bank, maybe? Run a bit wide?
Let's cross out to Emmer Penlan, who's at the end of this stage. Catch up with Elvin.
Safely through the second stage, Elvin. Describe this one for us.
Yeah, it's pretty low grip. Bit like expected, but it's difficult for us at the moment.
How's the feeling in the car?
Really struggling.
That is not good. He's not got a good feeling in the car. And this isn't good for Sebastian Ogier here. We've got a tyre pressure alert for the rear right. And he's, as I mentioned, he's only just passed 7.5 kilometres when that came in. Up at the next split point now, which is 10K, so he was 2 seconds faster than Rovanperä. He's now 1.8 slower. That time is just going to disappear here.
I'm hearing from Elvin, really low grip in there. Seb, third on the road, probably experiencing some of the same. And missing that wing mirror on the right side. Has he run wide into something and hit something pretty hard, resulting in a puncture, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll get his version of events when he gets to get stop control, but it's not good when it was looking so good on the splits.
You can see how rough this section of road is. Some big rocks lying around.
kaikkialaita. Stadivonen äläkivi. 300 yli 2 huomioista muut häilevän nyppy 10. Lyhyt oikein nopein yhteys. Tilaa. 500 yli. Maaliin.
It's looking good for Kalle.
It is. Not so much for his teammate Sebastian Ogier, though. But Kalle Rovanperä, the countdown to Elfyn Evans' time is on the board, 1.4 seconds faster. He was coming under pressure in this stage from his teammate Seb, but as we've seen, Ogier has a tyre pressure alert for the rear right of the car. And he's 9.6 seconds slower than Rovanperä now.
Interesting splits from Oit.
Yeah, as Rovanperä comes down to the stop control then, yeah, Oitanak's playing catch up a little here.
Kalle, another strong stage, 1.4 faster than Elfyn. How was it in there?
Yeah, this one was definitely not so good. Much more slippier, less grip. Especially in the beginning, I was struggling a lot. No grip, made mistakes here and there all the time. Going a bit wide and not really having the real flow. So yeah, this one is not gonna be a good time.
Again, he's doesn't think it's going to be a good time. I mean, obviously from what we're seeing with Sebastian Ogier right now, he's got a rear right puncher from our understanding from the alert that we had on the screen. You can certainly see that reflected in the times. He's 18.8 down now. But we have no idea whether he has come into contact with anything or not. We'll find out when he gets to the stop control. This is hugely disappointing though, because he was in second place and he was gaining on time on Rovanperä at the first sector of this stage, or the first 3 sectors.
Yeah, Kalle talking about making a few mistakes, especially in the beginning, very slippery.
I think they can all expect it though, can't they? I mean, you know, when you're coming to a brand new event that you have no idea what it is going to be like out there and what the condition of the road is doing, and they've all mentioned it, and we all know from driving these stages ourselves, the surface is changing
All the time.
So you do have some smoother bits, you do have then the bits where there's a lot of bedrock coming through and it is rough. And then in 30 kilometres we have multiple changes. That's coming up next though, you can wait for that.
Hopefully Thierry has a better feeling through here.
Yeah.
Talked a lot about, you know, the bottoming out on the previous stage just really wasn't coming together for him at all. Not a good feeling. But, you know, such a different character in here. Much smoother, like we've said, and faster. He's brought it back a little bit as well on the splits.
It's not looking too bad at all, is it? It's looking a far stronger stage for Newville.
All those people.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of fans that have travelled from many, many different countries here, internationally, as well as all of the Paraguayan fans.
Yeah. Love it.
Fans agree with you, Molly. Oh, yeah, we've just come a little bit too hot into that sector. That is unfortunate, because that was looking like a really, really strong run, but he would have just scrubbed off a few seconds there. And while we watch Newville here,
it was good that the road was a little bit wider there, that he could just sort of bring it back and onto the right place again.
Sebastian Ogier has completed. He's 32.9 seconds behind Kalle Rovanperä's time. You know,
that's big.
It's hugely disappointing because we're in the midst of a massive title fight in the WRC, which Ogier is a huge part of. This is a blow. I know it's a long way to go. We're only on stage 2 of the event. Anything can happen out there. But this is not what you want to see when you're in the midst of that fight. Let's find out how this happened. Let's cross out to Emir.
Sebastian, the splits are looking really good, but hugely disappointing. 30 seconds dropped.
Yeah, puncture. A lot of rocks. The middle of the road on the straight line, but yeah, that's how it is.
There's a long way to go.
Yeah, but it's never so good.
No, it isn't so good. He knows that. He knows what a blow this is. But as he said, a rock in the middle of the road. This is what we are going to see throughout the weekend. There are some big rocks, but there's some smaller rocks, but they're the wrong shape. They're sharp rocks, which can do damage. We stopped and had a good look around at rocks. People might have thought we were mad, picking up rocks and holding them just to see what kind of damage they could potentially do. So rock in the line, nothing he could have done. No, but Tanak, things are looking up here, aren't they? Opening stage, you know, not so great, and he did have windscreen wiper damage after a compression. His windscreen wipers were in all kinds of shapes, not in the right ones when he got to the end of the stage. And he was back in 6th position overall, 8.4 seconds off the lead, but right now, he's the fastest man out there.
You know, we know quite well how good Hyundai is on the rough gravel rallies, and also the amount of development they've done now on the smoother, faster gravel rallies. And with this being a bit of a combination of both, you know, we could see it come together. And now this stage, without all those nasty compressions, we're seeing a fastest time.
We
so
are.
Far.
10:51 for Oit and for Martin. That's a 1/10 of a second faster than Kalle Rovanperä. 4 drivers in then. It's Tanak, Rovanperä, Evans, Ogier through the stage. Greg Munster is on the move on SS1 as well. He passed our cameras about 6 minutes ago. This is the corner. Thierry just went really wide in, but Taka nicely through that. Let's cross out and have a chat with Oit.
Great stage, Oit. Fastest so far. Good feeling in there?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so, yeah. We hurt ourselves quite a bit on the previous one, and yeah, not really getting any rhythm, but just trying to fight it through at the moment. So yeah, it's not easy in the car.
Yeah, I think he's one of many drivers and co-drivers who've yeah, just over those bumps and compressions in the previous stage. They're aching a little, yeah, let's say.
And these are some really fit guys. These are top athletes who are well trained. And, you know, after over all of those compressions, they do sort of brace themselves in a way, you know, and try and take it. But they were nasty. They were really nasty.
Nothing can prepare you for the effect of them, and I think successions of them as well. Okay, let's take a look at Takamoto Katsuta now then.
Doing really well.
Again, though, he's got that time to build up, hasn't he, after the previous stage. Back in 18th position after picking up a puncture on the opener this morning.
But we know when Taka's driving angry, maybe that's what he's doing in here a little bit.
Yeah, in Finland he found that, you know, he was channeling the anger, and that seemed to work for him. Although you rarely see an angry Taka. He's one of the happiest people in the service park, but when he does get angry, the time seemed to come. He said at one stage, and maybe I need Aaron to punch me or something, just to, you know, bring out that anger. No fighting was involved, I can assure you.
He's brought it back a little bit.
I think Thierry Neuville is going to be far happier with this time, isn't he?
It's a much better stage for Thierry. Is it just the character, or...
There we go, just 0.2 of a second off the pace of Oit Tanak in there. Far, far better performance on the second stage than we saw on the first. Look at that, we've got 3 drivers separated by 0.2 of a second through this stage. I think it is that stage 1 is such a demon of a stage. It's so difficult.
That's a good word. demon stage.
Now we're starting to see the pace coming in, and Adrian Fourmeau is certainly delivering this. Even though we've talked about the fact that there's not a huge amount of loose out there, it is still cleaning, so you are still going to see the cleaning effect, just not as acutely as on other events.
Yeah, Elvin said it to us.
Thierry, great strong stage there, only 0.2 behind Tanak. What was different in this one?
Nothing. It's a nightmare, honestly. I'm struggling like hell. Going straight on the breakings. I have so many dip openings, and they come by surprise all the time. So I don't know what to do, to be honest.
Protect the car or speed?
I try to find the balance, but at the moment there's no speed. It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's a good question from Ems, you know, because it is trying, as he said, he's trying to find the balance of protecting the car, but also keeping the pace out there. But he is not a happy man right now. We saw that, you know, wide from him on the corner. He lost a couple of seconds there. It's not a bad time on the board, but he is not feeling good in the car. And
he says no speed, but it's only 2/10 off the fastest time.
I think, but it's all to do with the feeling for him and the trust that he has. Fourmeau just up onto the bank there a little. This is far better from Adrian. Still holding fast split then at 12.5 kilometers. He's on a joint time with Sami Pyrie heading into this stage, so that could really, well, it will really separate them out. We'll come to Sami though in a little while. It is going to be Taka who's next to complete. He was setting pace, level pace with Tanak at the penultimate split. He's dropped a little bit of time, just 0.8 of a second into the final split point now.
Small margins, it's a just over 19 kilometer stage as well. Small gaps between the top guys here.
Just 0.6 then off the pace for Taka. Frustrating opening stage for him, where he picked up a puncture, dropped him down the running order, and now it's a case of trying to haul some of that back. It's a long way to go here in Paraguay. It's a very difficult opening day. We're only on stage 2. Look at what we've seen so far. It's been a real challenge.
Must be amazing for the fans. You know, they come out to national rallies and other events here, but just to see the Rally 1 cars coming through the stages here, wow, it's got to be special.
Yeah, it's very, very sleepy. Many surprises. Yeah, unfortunately we got the puncture, so nothing so much we can do. I mean, we need to bring car back. We have only 0, you know, we don't have any spare anymore, so I need to be very, very careful.
Yeah, that's actually a really strong point. All the Rally 1 cars this morning went out with just 1 spare. So for Ogier and for Katsuta, you know, they have to be cautious because it's a loop of 4 stages that we have here in Paraguay on the opening morning.
And they have 30K coming up.
Exactly, the 30-kilometer stage is next, followed by the very short Autodromo before they head back to service. But there's got to be that air of caution from both of those drivers now.
It's so important at a new event to get through every stage, get that experience.
Sami Pyrie got off to a great start this morning. It was a confident performance on a very tricky opening stage. So he was in joint overall time, on joint overall time with Fourmeau, but he is a little bit slower than Fourmeau here by 1.9 seconds. Fourmeau is the fastest man in this stage.
I thought it was interesting to hear that Fomo had gone to the WRC 2 test earlier this week. And he went there for different reasons, to have a look, but also to see how the road was developing after many cars were going through. So he was sort of, yeah, gathering information like we were talking about earlier, just trying to get as much as possible. And it was, yeah, really cool to see.
It's a clever thing to do because you need as much information as possible on a brand new event like this. And we've seen brand new events already this year, Gran Canaria, for example, but people had knowledge of that rally. Adrian Fomo did, for example. So did Greg Munster, who competed on it previously. Engineers, mechanics have been there over the years. It's been a rally that's run for a long, long time, so they had data of that. This, however, completely different. And Fomo here has come through with an incredible time on the board, 10:46.7. He was looking good on every split sector. That puts him into second position overall, just 0.4 of a second behind Robin Pera. Welcome to the party, Adrian Fomo.
You see the cars after him, they're separated by so little, it's just 0.1 of a second, but he's come through with just his massive time.
Yeah, it's very impressive. 4.3 ahead of Tanak, 4.4 ahead of Robin Pera, 4.5 ahead of Neville. The boys that were separated by just 10ths.
Early, 5 right continues long out, slow, tight and flattish, 3 over crest, caution, tight and spud, 50, right, 3 left long, tight over brow, continues along, 40, flat crest, 60.
Adrian, that was an incredible stage for you there. You're up to second, only 0.4 behind Carlin. What changed in this stage for you?
There was no jumps on that stage, so it's easier to have normal driving. And yeah, I was trying to really clean and in the stages. And I'm sad because there was one long straight where I thought there was a crest in the corner after, but actually it was still going flat in corner. I must lose at least 2 seconds, or at least 1, but it's okay. It's a long game, but it's a shame to lose time in a straight.
You said you were too stiff in the first one. Did you change the setup for this one?
No. I think just the car becomes softer.
I think for Adrian, you know, that's amazing time on the board. It's a real confidence builder ahead of the 30-kilometre stage that we have coming up next as well. And he's only 0.4 of a second off the lead now.
I'm amazed that Thierry comes through. It's a nightmare. I've got no speed. He is in a different world to Adrian.
Yeah, but we've seen that on a couple of events this year, haven't we? It's, you know, they're all choosing. You know, you would think as a team they're all sharing the information together about which setups they're going with it, but the cars are set up to the driver's preference of what they want out there. For Adrian right now, it is working for him.
Yeah.
So they're not on the same joint overall time any longer. It has been separated now between Sami Pairi and Adrian Fomo. He completes 4.6 seconds slower. Remains, though, in third position overall, 5 seconds off the lead of the event.
If anyone's just joining us, we did see Owen Tracy lose his notebook on the previous stage. What an amazing shot from inside the car. We couldn't quite believe what we were seeing.
And they landed after a heavy jump, didn't they? And the notebook just pinged out of Owen's hands. Maybe for the second pass he needs to construct, you know those things when you were little, you had your gloves on like a long kind of cord, so you kept your gloves together, you never lost your gloves when you were young.
Yeah.
Maybe we need something like that for Owen to keep hold of that pace notebook on the second pass. We'll see what we can fashion. Not sure I can homologate it in time for the second pass though.
Sami, another strong stage, 4.6 slower than Adrian, but you're still in third position. A good start.
Yeah, it's okay. Felt that I was really slow on the stage, but yeah, the grip was so low that I was always just trying to maximize the exit. So yeah, the feeling was that I could be faster, but it's tricky when it's so slippy.
Yeah, as he mentioning low grip there, and that's been a theme in here.
Yeah. And talking about maximizing the exit, it's so important. We see on this stage it's so fast, really long, fast straights. If you have a bad exit, you're going to lose the whole way down. And some of these are a really long way. It's a bit jungly, isn't it, stage 2, in places?
In places, yeah.
Did you see the guys in the service park that were dressed just like them yesterday?
I did, yeah. I mean, the fans have gone kind of above and beyond, haven't they, to really replicate their heroes. They were dressed as Elliott and Oliver. The attention to detail was pretty spot on. Now, let me quickly update you in WRC2, seeing as we're within that category right now. After the opening stage this morning, Oliver Solberg is leading over Nikolai Greisin by 2.5 seconds, with Johan Rossell 3.2 off the lead. Gus Greensmith is 4th, and Diego Dominguez is in 5th. 4.6 seconds separate the top 5 in WRC2, so it is incredibly close out there between these drivers, and it is a big weekend for the title contenders here.
Yeah, both Oliver and Johan are on their 6th rally.
That's right, they are the ones who really need to get some... Oh, Oliver! Hold on, was he
lucky or unlucky there?
That was a very, very odd one there. He almost kissed the Armco barrier. I think he might have glanced it, but in a very slow sector.
Yeah, he just kind of went straight on there instead of making the corner.
Yeah, but why couldn't he make the turn?
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at it again. So we've gone, okay, the back end's just moved out here.
He's out into more of loose, isn't he? He's just lost it a little bit. But we've heard it from almost everyone, just how slippery this one has been. More than expected, maybe.
Well, there's a familiar face that we didn't see on the opening stage this morning. Greg Munster.
They've done a good job.
They have indeed, yeah. Yeah, we did report early in that they had completed the opening stage. We saw them pass the cameras up to full speed as well. And they're back in business, which I'm, hugely relieved about. He needs the experience of these stages. You need to be able to get through coming all this way, traveling all this way, and then having an issue on the opening stage and not being able to continue would have been the worst thing.
So he pops in after Johan, yeah? On stage?
No, he's just after Josh.
All right.
Let's get back with Josh then, who is going to be the next car to complete.
Big stay right. 9 sharp, 3 left, tight.
It's not far off Sammy Pyre's pace here. 1.7 seconds behind.
Flat, 3 left, arrows. 80 up.
It's not bad across this stage. 5.6 down on that final split.
Right over crest, arrows okay. 60 prep that slow left. Into don't drop 4 left, neat. 60. Don't 5 left, tightens, keep, stop 20 square right, tighten sharp. Stick don't, neat. And a slight left over crest. To 5 right, keep. And 3 left or tight, soft. Go 80. Left over bump and right over crest, tight short, flat 4, over bump. And a short, flat 5 right. And slide back left and flat right over crest, okay. 100, tip okay, 220 up. Come back. Crest bump 40 after 3, stop crest 20, turn 1 right, tighten, don't, wide. Go 400. Small black crest. Repeat, small black crest past the greenhouse on the right. Then 120.
I love the reference points.
250.
That's the greenhouse.
Then stay left to straight left drop. Good job. 10.4 points.
So just 3 seconds behind Sami Pyri's time. It's a 10:54.3 for Josh McAlee and Owen Tracy. And for the first time this weekend, we're on board here with Greg Munster and Louis Luca, who 900 metres into the opening stage had some kind of incident. We can see them from the heli working on the front right. Took them a while to get back underway, but they managed to complete the opening stage. Obviously, they're back in order now, and they're here, and they're up to pace. So we'll find out when they get to the end of the stage exactly what happened. But first of all, let's catch up with Josh.
80 mètres, attention, droite 28 moins dur. Attention, droite 28 moins dur, 80 mètres, frein pied, à droite 15 bump, 70 mètres le crack, gauche 26 moins millier 3. Dans droite 24
Josh, a strong stage, only 3 seconds behind Sami in that one. How did it feel?
It's honestly very, very surprising to hear that, because it's like driving in tarmac in places, and it's super smooth and polished with the, you can even see the rubber lying down on the ground. So yeah, quite surprising to hear that. So maybe trying to be patient is a good thing at the moment.
Ooh. Describe the first one as wild. Was this any better?
Yeah, it's a bit more calm in there with the less compressions and jumps, but we get to go back to the first one this afternoon.
Yeah, that first one is coming up. We just saw a mistake there from Greg Munster. But to be honest, you know, he's lost a huge tranche of time, but he just doesn't want to be making any more mistakes. Let's take a look at it again. So we're in a fast sector here, just coming up to a junction. We saw this earlier, didn't we? It's an overshoot. Yep. Just has to get himself reversed and then back onto the stage. Now, just hearing in from the team that he only has rear brakes.
Ah, that would explain what just happened.
So yeah, it's a great deal of caution then coming in off those straights into the corners. That was 15.2 kilometers into the stage where we saw that overshoot. Difficult start to the rally for Greg and Louis, but they've just, you know, they've done the right thing. They've been able to fix whatever issue was, and we'll find out absolutely when they and what led to it.
Yeah.
Just a couple of corners in at the opening stage. They've got to continue on. They're doing exactly that right now.
Yeah, it will be interesting to hear the story behind it on the first one.
Pour sommet gauche 10, on est presque arrivé, il reste une page. Sur droite 23, fini frein à tenir et gauche 29 dur, que dites. Ouais, mais l'autre, non, il est bon, 100 mètres.
You never want to have just rear brakes, but on this rally, with the speeds and everything.
And we also have an alert coming through here. Let's see what it's going to tell us. Rear right for Greg. Again, yeah, as we mentioned before, the rally ones have gone out with just one spare this morning.
We've got several of the Rally 2s out with 2 spares.
Yeah.
J'ai un doute quand même, je crois que je sortirai là.
Right, there we go. Tough morning for Greg. But crucially, he is still motoring on.
Oliver seems okay after his little moment earlier on. We were a little bit unsure for a second there.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of an odd one, but I think it was, yeah, just a loose on that section that he just slid wide and kissed the Armco barrier a little.
That's become Thierry's corner.
Rapidly, places become. And especially on this now event for the first time,
yeah,
it'll always be Thierry's corner, whether he likes it or not. That is Greg Munster coming into shot then. Let's get the full version of events on what has been a tough morning for Greg and Louis. They've been driver and co-driver, and they've been mechanics out there. That tyre doesn't look too bad, actually. And we were getting an alert in, and maybe it's just lost a little bit of pressure.
Gregoire, so good to see you here at the end of stage 2, but please tell us what happened in stage 1.
Yeah, it was really early on. Honestly, entering the corner, I had no doubt. So, or it's something that was missing in our pace, not or it's a rock that was pulled out. But yeah, he broke the steering arm and the brakes. So yeah, very sorry for the team. I think we could have done something good here in Paraguay. So yeah, really disappointing. I'm sorry, but we're here and we continue. It's a tricky one.
You did an incredible fix. You had a steering arm in the car.
Yeah, we had one, and it was quite a thing to change it also because we were not placed very well, and I couldn't stay at the car to work when the others were arriving because it was a bit tricky. So safety first.
And now a puncture rear right.
Yes.
But you're still here.
Yeah.
Well,
Keep going, Greg, keep going. Yeah, he's had some morning, isn't he? We'll talk about that a little bit more, but he's right, you know, the disappointment of what could have been because he could. It's the expectation of a level playing field.
Yeah.
Could he have done something special? We'll never know now. But
What he expected a lot more.
What he can do once that car comes back to service and it is fully fixed is give us some good stage times out there. There's still the opportunity to shine a little here. I know it's been a tough morning for Greg. I'm trying to find the positives here. I'm working hard.
Just listening to the interview, I didn't hear all of it. He was entering a corner and there was something with the notes.
Yeah, he said it was something missing maybe from the notes.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Oliver. We'll come back to it.
Well then, Oliver, safely through stage 2. Hearing you had a bit of a moment in there.
No, I don't think so.
Wide kissing an arm go somewhere?
Yeah, I was a bit slippy on braking and I went wide, but didn't touch anything, so all good.
Describe this one for us then. How was it?
Yeah, in places the beginning was more slippy than I expected, and then the end was more grip than I expected. So yeah, I didn't have a good rhythm, so difficult.
So your first impressions of Rally Paraguay?
More difficult than we expect, I think.
Good luck. Keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tanak said that yesterday to you at Shakedown, didn't he? It's more difficult than anticipated, were his words. And, you know, from a perspective from the driver, looked at the videos and they've used that as their basis for knowledge. And then they've come here, they've seen how complex the surface is, and certainly on that opening stage this morning. And, yeah, it is just a little bit more difficult than they thought.
Yeah, so back to Greg. Was there a rock then that caused the damage?
It sounded like that. He said there's something missing from his notes, and he's clipped a rock.
Breaking a steering arm and also the brakes. Oof. Johan Rossell also on his 6th rally, nominated rally.
Yeah, he needs the big points haul this weekend. He's 4 seconds slower than Oliver Solberg through there.
Yeah, a bit of a shake of the head there.
It's becoming familiar, to be honest, isn't it? You know, I think they just need to have more of an understanding of this event.
Gus had that massive jump on the opening stage this morning. Probably feeling that quite a lot in the car now, but luckily when adrenaline comes in, all of that goes away, at least while you're on stage.
Johan, 4 seconds slower than Oliver in this one. You don't look entirely happy with that one?
No, I changed something on the car and the feeling is disaster.
What did you change? You went softer?
No, just something for try to have more grip, but I think it's very, very difficult to understand the grip here. Sometimes it's so slippery. Yeah.
Long way to go though.
Yeah. I mean,
he's wanting to have a look at the splits there on Mayor's phone, but he's, you know, what he's saying, it's again what we've been talking about, it's the understanding of this surface.
Yeah.
Because they are struggling with what kind of setup they're going with. because it is changing constantly.
Big learning curve.
It is
for everybody out there.
Big learning curve, and then it changes again this afternoon with the second pass because it's a huge discovery in how these stages are going to evolve. We're not sure.
Finish 300. Do you want that rock on there or? No, it was a loose one. No. I'm struggling with the rear. Big damage.
7.1 seconds down from Solberg's time. We're talking about some kind of loose rock. Let's find out a little bit more on that with Ems at the stop control. You can see he has lost time in the second half of the stage, so we'll get Gus's version on that with Ems.
Hi Gus, 7.1 down on Oliver in that one. Lost a bit of time in the second half. What went on in there?
Yeah, just as the grip was dropping, the damage we picked up from one of the big jumps in the path landing, that's one, it's just making the car very difficult to drive, so there's not much more I can do than that.
And how are you feeling?
Sore back, but I think that's going to be everyone this weekend.
Best of luck.
Yeah, he feels he's done a bit of damage then after that heavy landing on the previous stage that we saw, if you were with us for that. A number of heavy landings on the previous one. And we saw his light pod just pop out of its socket on the rear of the car. But also you could see how much pain he was in physically when he got to the end of the stage. But also he felt he'd done some damage to the rear. Verve's looking good here in terms of time. We saw an overshoot from him on the opening stage this morning.
Yeah, he seems to be more comfortable on this piece of road with less compressions, less jumps, more fast, flat out.
And completes 1.4 seconds off the pace of Oliver Solberg within the WRC2 category. That puts Verves now 6.9 seconds adrift of Gus Greensmith overall. So it's Solberg's the fastest through so far in WRC2, then Verves 11:10.9 is 1.4 slower. Johan Rossell was 4 seconds slower. Greensmith 7.1 slower. The red roads of Rally Paraguay on display for you right there.
Yeah.
Good stage there, Robert. 1.4 off Oliver. Great stage.
Okay, that's a bit surprising. But yeah, let's say it was a clean run for us, but you know, it's quite different with all these long straights and bumps and jumps, and that quite hard to estimate where are you in the, let's say, long distances. So I hesitated quite a bit, but yeah, I believe it's quite same for everybody, because it's quite unique how the car works on this kind of surface.
Well done.
Yeah, he seemed quite surprised, didn't he? That little facial reaction there, the fact that he was just 1.4 seconds off Solberg's time. But it is Adrian Fourmeau who has taken the fastest time overall here on the second stage. So Fourmeau faster than Tanak by 4.3 seconds. Then Rovanperä and Neuville by 4.4 and 4.5. Tanak, Rovanperä and Neuville were separated by just tenths of seconds. And then Fourmeau came through a good 4 seconds ahead and said he had slowed down on one part of the stage when he could have gone a bit quicker on a straight where he thought there was a crest approaching. So a really good run from Adrian Fourmeau in terms of the overall stage classification on the second stage here of Bueno Rally del Paraguay. Our leader, though, continues to be Kalle Rovanperä and Jone Halttunen, with Fourmeau up to second position with that great time on stage 2. 0.4 of a second is all that's in it, with Sami Pajari in third position overall. Tanak is in fourth, Evans is fifth, Neuville is in sixth position, The gaps are still nice and small, with Josh McAlean rounding out the top 7. Ogier with a puncture on this one, dropping down to 8th position overall. Katsuta had a puncture on the first one, as is in 9th position. That's the way it stands as we head into the next stage. But before that, we're heading into the service park to catch up with Kiri.
Well, a tight but ferocious fight out there, and it is looking ever increasingly difficult. Now, joining me, it's like we planned these at the perfect time, Stephen, although we planned them not at all, but it's lovely to see you here in Paraguay. Stephen Cho from Hankook. So, Stephen, first of all, I don't even know where to start because it's such a wild and bumpy ride, but what have you made of these 2 stages?
Yeah, first of all, very, very nice to be here. It's been an amazing event so far. Again, we knew that Friday was going to be tough, and if you look at from our recce, the puncture risks and so on would decline as the day went on. So it's a little bit disappointing to see that there was a bit of bad luck there for Sebastian and for Taka. But as I said, you know, sometimes you see those rocks in the middle of the road and you can't really do anything about it. But we're hoping that the stages coming up, although long, should be much more straightforward.
But that sort of swings in roundabouts, so it potentially might be a little bit more straightforward in terms of the puncture risk, but we've seen now just over the 40k mark in terms of stages. So those tyres are going to be worn whether we like it or not.
Yeah, that's true. It's and the sun is shining, so it's a beautiful day for us, but the temperatures are coming up for sure. And as we said, like the rocks that we're seeing out there, you know, they're in random locations, but they're also quite sharp. I brought a little example here that we picked up from our recce. You can see that it's extremely sharp. You know, this is a very small one, so it could fit in my pocket, but
it's like a knife blade.
You can make an arrowhead out of this and go hunting for sure. So it's a big challenge for the drivers out there today.
And the thing is, in some rallies, perhaps you'll see 1 or 2 rocks alongside. I mean, this is literally rock bed the whole way. And of course, they're going to get churned up. In terms of what we're going to see this afternoon, your expectations are that it's going to be even more difficult out there.
Yeah, I think the sort of what we've been hearing and the theme for this event sort of is changeable grip levels. Yeah. So, you know, we see that, you know, some of the areas are so compact, it's almost like asphalt. Like the tires, the cars and tires are laying down rubber actually in the traction zones and in the braking zones. And then you have other areas which are, you know, very slippery. And as the drivers have also said, it's the changeability of grips suddenly, which has been a big challenge for them. I mean, it's great for the show to watch, you know, the best drivers in the world adapt to that. But it's a highly challenging day today.
Now, on other rallies, we've also seen sort of variations in pressure as well. But here, for at least this first pass, we're not seeing anything too wild out there. Everybody's sort of gone with, let's try and bring this back and not try too much.
Yeah, I think as we've seen that as everything is new, I mean, we've even seen that from recce to shakedown, the feedback was like, wow, that was a lot different than what we thought it would be. And so that's going to be, I think, the theme of the event. And so we see that the drivers are also maybe being a little bit more aggressive as they go from stage to stage. But I also think it's because they're not sure exactly what to expect. And the distance, as you say, they'll probably be going much more conservative on areas such as tire pressure and so on.
So knowing the puncture risk, we're having a look at Sebastian Ogier changing a tyre out there. Taka, of course, saying he's got 0 now in terms of spares. Would it have been prudent to perhaps take 2 spares out there, or was the weight gamble just not worth it?
I think that was probably, you know, within the calculation that all the teams made. It's quite a lot of weight to take around, and as you know, it changes the weight distribution of the car, so that those handling imbalances will be there as well. And you know, generally speaking, our tires have been pretty reliable, and so you know, balancing all those things, you know, we weren't surprised to see that no one took 6. There's a few cars in Rally 2 that did that, so we'll see if that you know, turns into a good result for them. But yeah, I think it's a difficult call to add another spare just from the weight disadvantage.
Okay, well, 30Ks on the way for you. If you are wondering where any soul in Paraguay is, it's at stage 3. So let's hand over and see the action.